Well, we talked about it yesterday that this XRP, the first spot ETF in the United States, very well may shock the world. The Canary XRP ETF is now live. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. Do whatever all the cool kids do because it does help. You can see right here, Canary XRP ETF, trading at 25.55 per share. You can look at the volume, 1,486,000. What is that? A 525. So as of right now, let me do this in real time for me making this video. We are sitting at 1,486,525. About $38 million in volume. Now, for some context here, we had the BESOL, so Solana's spot ETF that went live. What was it? I always forget the days because so much happens. Like a couple of weeks ago. The first day was at $57 million. The biggest day one of any launch this year on the NASDAQ. And XRP's $26 million in volume in the first 30 minutes. So essentially a little less than half of Solana's spot ETF's total daily volume hitting the XRP spot ETF. Now, for some context here, the ticker is XRPC. And as Tata mentions here near the end, welcome to the family, welcome aboard. We know that the HBAR and the Litecoin spot ETFs out of Canary Capital just went live a couple of weeks ago on the same day that the spot ETF from Solana went live. XRPC is your ticker. Canary Capital, I wanted to give a shout out here because you can go to their site. And this is obviously not financial advice. This is not paid for or sponsored by Canary Capital or Ripple or anything else. But I wanted to give them a shout out because they do a really good job going through the prospectus and everything else. And I know that they do the same thing for HBAR and all the other ETFs out there. But I mean, this is really slick. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound there, but it goes through a whole kind of outlook definition of what XRP is, what the XRP ledger is, et cetera, et cetera. So huge shout out to Steve and all the team at Canary Capital. Yeah, and as I mentioned yesterday, I mean, I did this video, literally the title is the XRP spot ETF may shock the world. It'll be interesting to see if the daily volume gets above Solana's BESOL spot ETF and breaks a record for the biggest day one launch of the year on the NASDAQ. You can look down through some of the comments here. Vet's been on a roll recently in the XRP community. And yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys, buckle up. Because we could make this the same type of statement for XRP, for Hedera. I just did an XDC interview this morning. There's an ETP out of Europe coming, and I'm sure that there's, hopefully American stuff coming. This is just, I know a lot of people get excited about these day one things, and yes, it is exciting. But at the end of the day, there's going to be so many financial products that spin off the back end of blockchain and crypto that it's going to make your head spin. Like, you're not going to be able to keep track of all of them at all. Now, we went over yesterday that the spot HBAR ETF within like the first week and a half has 1% of all HBAR. I wonder what that does to something like XRP. You can see the demand for these digital assets in traditional products as they go live, just smashing daily records as the Solana spot ETF did. So anyways, we'll go over this too. Breaking: PwC partnered with the Hashgraph Group to launch Hedera-powered ESG solutions for global enterprise. I did get asked to do more of a deep dive. This is not a deep dive into this, but I did want to mention it because we see kind of one of the bigger professional services firms in the world announcing integrations with Hedera. And on a side conversation, I think Deloitte, Boston Consulting Group, KPMG, and PricewaterhouseCoopers all have some sort of integrations with Hedera at this point in time. The only one that I couldn't find to see if they had an integration or not was Ernst & Young, which is obviously one of the big ones as well. But from an ESG standpoint, PricewaterhouseCoopers advises thousands of companies worldwide across regulatory compliance, sustainability, reporting, and climate strategy. including strict disclosure frameworks in the EU, UK, and other major jurisdictions. This EcoGuard platform runs on Hedera's Guardian, I believe, which we're going to see here in a second, and brings that expertise on chain. It anchors carbon credits, renewable energy certificates, and real-time sustainability, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is coming out of PwC Deutschland as well as PwC Switzerland. But you can go and read the full article on genfinity.io if you want to dig a little bit deeper into this. There's a lot to kind of dig into there. But again, just major kind of announcement as far as adoption is concerned. JPM, I will try to do more of a deep dive into this in the future. Just can't do it today. JPMD's Token Revolution. JPMD, I love the revolution phrase. That's your agentic AI title. Token Revolution. JP Morgan's USD deposit token, JPMD, is now live on Base Network. Congratulations, JP Morgan. JP Morgan told us for years that they weren't in crypto, but they very obviously were. All right, and this is another, must follow kind of on X. Senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. This is Eric Balchunas. And again, just the XRP Spot ETF. Brad Garlinghouse saying it's finally happening. You can go to, here's where I kind of pulled up the volume records. So average daily volume, et cetera, in the first half, all the IPOs, NASDAQ, et cetera. In comparison to XRPC, BESOL currently holds the record for the largest first-day volume of any single asset crypto ETF launched this year with $56 million. XRPC has generated significant initial excitement, reaching nearly half of BESOL's total first-day volume within just the first 30 minutes of trading. That's wild. And if you guys want to check this out on your own, NASDAQ.com, or you can go to the Yahoo site as well, finance.yahoo.com. The ticker is XRPC. If you want to figure out where we're at with volume, you take this little volume number down here and you multiply it by this share price. And shout out to Tata again. Here's a deeper dive. He shared this. So this came out maybe a handful of months ago. This is PwC and the Hashgraph Group ESG deployments. And you might get a little bit more of a picture here about how some of these relationships go about. And how the collaboration happens. So PwC offering, and I think I went over this in a previous video, PwC offering expertise to help businesses adopt new sustainability solutions. Now PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, obviously deals in thousands of companies. They help to navigate regulations. They help to expand these organizations' market presence. And Hedera, an organization like Hedera from the blockchain standpoint, and the Hashgraph Group providing cutting edge tech and long-term support that powers the sustainability solutions. So from the technology enabler standpoint, like a Hedera, you could probably make the same assumption with other layer ones and how these relationships go. You've got system architecture, implementation, hypercare, all the enablement stuff, probably some of the management stuff as far as the tech is concerned. From PwC's standpoint, since they have such deep relationships with these traditional entities, they deal with the regulations mapping, they deal with the value chain mapping, where it actually is going to impact the organization. They deal with the vision, they deal with the roadmap to let them know of what's coming down the pipeline, and they do the business enablement stuff. Lots of interesting stuff here. And I saw also, I think, Wrapped Bitcoin came to Hedera today as well. Anyways, long story short here, as we kind of ramp down, also did an interview. I'm not going to publish it probably today, with XDC Network's head of growth, Benny. So we'll be talking about native USDC hitting $30 million on XDC Network, which I think is even higher than XRP and higher than Kraken's layer 2, which is called Inc., and Plume, which is a layer 1 network, and some other stuff. Some of the acquisitions XDC's made recently. They have a big surge liquidity program right now too. But full disclosure, obviously, Genfinity has a media relationship there, so make sure you're doing your own due diligence. But I will tell you when that interview goes live. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, XRP's Spot ETF may very well shock the world today as the largest single asset day launch this year. We will see what happens as the market closes, and if it does do so, I will try to update you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Wow, I did a video in 10 minutes. That's amazing. And God bless you. I hope you have a great day. Have a good one. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Thanks. Bye.